This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, sacrificing the patriarchy from a broom closet in the here and the there, offering rememberings in times of chaos and bullshit. Let's talk about being kind in unkind times. I know that I already talked a little bit about compassion and grace, or I think it was compassion and kindness meets don't start none, won't be none. So there might be some repetition here. I don't know. I don't remember what I said then. Because sometimes I just start channeling and I don't really remember what's being said. So that's what happens when one casts from a broom closet. But I want to talk about being kind in unkind times. I had a really beautiful conversation with a couple of folks last week, and this came up of like just being really conscious of when existing in unkind times is really seeking to push us to also be unkind. And I'm not talking about being nice for nice sake, for the sake of being nice. There's a distinct difference between being nice and being kind. I'm really thinking about it in terms of, the choices that we are making in these times. When, there's my survival is going to depend on being really clear about my boundaries and my protections. Now, it's always been that case, right? Like, my aspects of being that get targeted in a patriarchal, white supremacist, capitalist structure that are, Black, Puerto Rican, woman, working class, went to non-traditional colleges, lives in urban area, like all these things have created a perception of my reality for me that boundaries and protections have always been something I must be maintaining in order to survive and thrive. And so in these current, even more so chaotic and harmful times, there's something to be said about being really conscious of when I'm of being kind in unkind times, because there's so many ways in which I'm being asked, even by people like me, to be unkind to people who are not like me. And, I think that's some of the learnings that the divine is asking us to step into. Like, what does that mean for my individual I of being conscious enough, slowing down enough, being curious enough to actively choose kindness when our current construct of harm is really pushing me to choose to be unkind. And I think it's just worth noting, right? I don't offer that to shame, blame, discourage, judge anyone, not even myself. It's just something that has come up for me. And has it come up for you? Is it something you've thought about? And maybe you haven't, but me bringing up, it's helping you think about it, feel about it. Like, what does it mean to choose kindness in unkind times? And maybe all that I have on it is to just be kind to the people in my immediate sphere. Maybe it's just to be kind to Onyx, right? My trusted canine companion, who's my best friend, who, shows me a level of unconditional love that is helping me heal childhood wounds and ancestral wounds that unkind person would probably not even see, would not even acknowledge in a dog. It's just a dog. No, like, that's a being. The being is smarter than most humans I know. She just doesn't speak human. Thank the goddess. But so what does it mean? Like, what do I need to do? I've been thinking about, like, what supports me in being kind in unkind times. So one of the things that's really interesting for me, like across the board, one of the ways that I check myself of like, what energy am I flowing in, is when I'm driving. And like, someone puts their blinker on, I generally don't rush anywhere. So someone puts their blinker on, the kind thing to do is just let them over. And I gotta tell you, like, this society of rushing and being mean is so ingrained even in me, a being who is constantly trying to relearn. My automatic default reaction is to always speed up. And I don't need to speed up. I don't want to speed up, but I do it. And so it's one of those, being kind in unkind times. Now I'm being hyper conscious of that, of just letting someone over. So, it could be as little as that, or like as large as whatever that means for you in your life, right? Like, you're in an argument with a loved one and things are getting really heated. What does it mean to choose to be kind in that moment and make space? Be the one who takes a breath, who slows down and says, you know what, we're both really heated. Maybe we should take a moment. Maybe we need new scenery. Maybe we go take a walk, let the sun hit our face and come back to this, right? Like, that level of kindness, or that way of being, I don't know that it's a level, that way of being kind. Again, a lot of this stuff, as I'm exploring it and the goddess is dropping it into me, it doesn't cost any money. You don't have to have an Amazon Prime account. You don't have to have a shipping address. You don't have to have the bullshit that this society tells us we have to have in order to be valued, validated, worthy. I just had the thought, like, it does take time. So, and I know, and we live in a society that time is stolen often from us, and we're given this idea that it's not our choice. But some of this stuff, it doesn't take meditating for 15 hours to be conscious of it. It could just be, something that you say to yourself a second in the morning when you wake up. Like, you open your eyes. It's like, today I'm going to choose kindness. And then trust that with that intention, it's going to show up somehow, some way. Yeah, I'm also being moved to say that when I choose kindness, particularly in unkind times, unkind moments, or like when someone is kind of moving caustically with me, there's something about the feeling it gives my energy centers of, I don't know if maybe that's what divine love, like, if we ever ask, like, what does divine love feel like? It feels like being kind in unkind times, not at the expense of my safety or security. And also, it does require a look at my perceptions of what safety and security really is. Like, do I really need to cross the street because the person walking down, intuitively I'm sensing they're dangerous? Or is it because I've been trained to think they're dangerous? And I can't tell you how many times I'm walking through my neighborhood, which is severely gentrified, and the white folks look petrified when they walk past a black person. But like, I always say hello to black folks who pass me. And 9 times out of 10, I get a hello back. And that energy of, like, particularly when it's a male presenting person, of like, holy shit, I got a hello. They didn't cross the street. It feeds me. I feel like I've offered a sort of loving energy burst to the universe in that. I don't do it for that. But I do it. Like, I don't want to seem super altruistic. I do it to relearn, to release some of the shit that's ingrained in me around anti-blackness. But anyway, I'm slightly digressing, I think, but maybe not, because the universe just took me on that little ride. So whoever needed to hear that, that's my offering. You never know what your kindness is going to offer someone, and hopefully, let me speak from the I never know what my kindness is going to offer someone, and I do walk with the desire that that kindness will get spread, sort of that pay it forward kind of energy and yang action of doing. This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, sacrificing the patriarchy from a broom closet. The energy here stays here. The energy there stays there. I'll sense you later. Return when moved to do so. Same Bruja time, same Bruja channel.